Good afternoon, YouTube. Looks like I gotta do a mini rant here after an issue with installing the Boost Lab BL54XR turbo. Basically, had a really dumb problem where I was running completely out of boost, would not go over 0 psi, and I was really beating my head over looking online, see what's all the goofy reasons why. You know, checking your brake circuit. So like the rear taillight connectors, you gotta check those, make sure they're clean. I haven't done any aftermarket modifications to those, so that wasn't it. Check the gas cap, make sure it's nice and tight. I've heard that being loose can cause a boost cut. But no, the thing that it turned out to be, last thing I expected, is the very brand new turbo, the BL54XR. Apparently it got delivered with the wastegate lever, wasn't welded on. Had a little spot weld and that's it. So, a little flap, I don't know if you can see that, fell right into the pipe in front of the cat. Thankfully I was just limping mode home, so didn't burn that thing up. So shop is fixing that now, thankfully, they figured it out. But the things that's upsetting me here is Boost Lab has stated that they are not going to cover any of the labor charge for diagnosing, finding the issue, removing the turbo, fixing the turbo, reinstalling the turbo. And that's for them acknowledging that they forgot to weld that and say, sorry, all that cost on you. The only thing they were willing to do was if I would ship them the turbo housing, they'd ship me a housing with the correct weld on it. But that weld is insignificant compared to the whole cost of it. Again, incredibly frustrating to have a shop spend an entire day figuring this problem out, tearing it down and fixing it, when it was just a weld that their quality department just completely missed. I'm trying to keep my head cool because this is not the first time that I've had aftermarket companies pull something on me like this. Thankfully the shop is being extremely how do I put it, gracious with making this repair outside of their already scheduled customers. They're squeezing me in around everybody else, getting it back up and running again. But I don't see why the shop is having to take the whole burden of this when this is entirely the Boost Lab company's fault. Their quality department should have caught the missing weld on the turbo for sending it out the door. I bought a premium turbo with the notion that if I spent the extra $1, I would get premium delivered service, if you will, and that I wouldn't have any issues for a long time. Would never have expected a failure within less than a month of installing a turbo, especially for such a core element as the wastegate. You need that. That's how turbos freaking work. So I'm just going to throw that warning out that if anyone has installed a Boost Lab BL54XR turbo, that double check the wastegate, make sure it was fully welded as they intended, and know that if there is something wrong, they are not paying for the labor. So you need to be very wise about being quickly removing from the car, getting them the housing for replacement, and then reinstalling yourself. Get that labor cost as far down as possible. But for me, this was the last thing I would have guessed was my problem. So I had the shop diagnose it. Sure enough, it was no software bugs as I expected. It was just purely a missed weld. And it's going to cost me quite a bit. Alright, well, anyway, y'all have a good one. There's your warning.